Hi, everyone, and pleasant good morning to you coming from Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott for Tony'sPicks.com, and we're here for Night Moves to cover the Monday action here with the NFL game tonight with the Steelers taking on the Dolphins. We've got also some NBA action here tonight, as well as games in college basketball and the NHL. Short show tonight for sure, but coming off a pretty exciting Sunday, wasn't it, in the NFL, and some we learned a little bit more about what's happening here with the postseason. But man, some big games, some big comebacks, and started off with the Bills over the Patriots last night or yesterday. Bills led 21-0 before halftime, but the Patriots couldn't stand prosperity, and the Bulls scored 5 touchdowns on their next 6 drives, end up winning 35-31 to snap the Patriots' 10-game winning streak. Buffalo still trails the Patriots by a game in the AFC East, but they can see them right now. And the Patriots couldn't stand it there to get the win against Buffalo. Great job by the Bills and great job by Josh Allen. I mean, his MVP odds dropped dramatically with that victory, that comeback there in typical Josh Allen fashion last night. Broncos over the Packers. Green Bay led 16-14 at halftime, but the Broncos behind Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns and 300 yards, come back, and man, Packers kept losing players in that game, and then they lost one of their biggest stars with Micah Parsons. Boy, without Kraft, Parsons, other injuries, Green Bay falling here down the NFC playoff seedings right now in that last playoff spot. I'm sure they'll get in, but man, it's been a little bit of a fall here for the Packers, and because of their injuries. How about Phillip Rivers and the Colts? They couldn't get it done. They did cover against Seattle, but Seattle got the win, make no mistake, 56-yarder with 18 seconds left. The Colts kicked a 60-yarder with 47 seconds left to take a lead, but Rivers just 120 yards. He really isn't that effective there. I'm sure they could have had another quarterback in there, but it was a nice story. They covered the spread if you had them. Colts are 7-3 ATS. Last 10 as a road underdog. My Chargers over the Chiefs, eliminating the Chiefs from the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Just as the situation was kind of unfolding that they weren't going to make the playoffs anyways, Patrick trying very, very hard on one final chance to keep the team alive, seriously injured in the game. And Chiefs will be out of the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. Chargers have won 6 of their last 7. I don't know how they've done it, but they're the number 5 seed currently in the AFC. Panthers lost again for the 12th straight time as a favorite, 20-17. The Saints win it, and now those teams are tied again. All the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7-7 for first place in the NFC South, and they play 2 of the last 3 games. So it's going to be 2 games to take it all, and I don't know, maybe it'll come down to that other game if they split. But Panthers could have put a big dent into the Bucs playoff division championship streak, but they couldn't beat the Saints, who got a game-winning field goal basically from a guy who was in the international player pool program from Northern Ireland, and he kicked the game winner for the Saints. Rams busted up the Lions 41-34. Barely got the money. Puka Nakua 9 catches, 181 yards. Stafford 368 yards, 2 touchdowns in his against his old team. Rams have won 8 of 9. They're 9-19 ATS, and their last 28 is a favorite. Goff, big game too, 338 yards and 3 touchdowns in a shootout. Ravens shut out the Bengals. Joey Burrow doesn't look interested, doesn't look like he wants to be there. And going in, he was having a lot of negative vibes, and they couldn't even score against the Ravens. Henry, 100 yards in that one. Jaguars over the Jets. They crushed them 48-20 behind. Trevor Lawrence's 5 touchdowns. Jacksonville leads Houston by a game in the AFC South. Brady Cook, 176 yards in his first NFL start. Looks a little overmatched, but he did have a few moments of brilliance in there. Texans over the Cardinals, 40-20 behind. C.J. Stroud, 260 yards and 3 touchdowns. Houston's won 6 straight. They're the 7th seed in the AFC right now. Cardinals, they've lost 6 in a row and 11 of their last 12. Bears beat up on the Browns. Browns couldn't get much done behind Shador, and the Bears dominated with their defense, led 14-0 at halftime. Bears have won 6 of 7, 10 of their last 12. They're the number 2 seed in the NFC. Cleveland had just 192 yards as the games were played in frigid conditions. Commanders over the Giants to snap an 8-game losing streak. Giants have lost 8 straight. That game was not great, that's for sure. Eagles did shut out the Raiders 31-0. They led 17-0 at halftime. The Raiders had 75 yards in the game. A really poor effort here. They've lost 8 in a row, 12 of their last 13. They might be the worst team in the league. 49ers drubbed the Titans 37-24. They might have barely got the money there if you're laying 12.5 in that one. 49ers led just 17-10 at halftime, but Tennessee's lost 8 of their last 9 games, and they're also 0-10 ATS, last 10 coming in off of win. Vikings beat the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football 34-26 behind J.J. McCarthy, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dallas outgained the Vikings by nearly 100 yards, but tried field goals on 6 of their last 7 drives, and their ace kicker missed a couple of field goals there, and the Vikings got a win there over the Cowboys to pretty much put the Cowboys nail in the coffin, final nail in the coffin. All right, and that was a look at the NFL. We're going to get started with the show. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves for the action here on Monday, and let's say hello to a few folks in the chat. There's Zach Rossi there today. Let's talk about the injuries there. And Timmy Choo Choo likes Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he's a charismatic guy with some leadership skills there, obviously. And hey, he was a great quarterback. Whether or not he's in the Hall of Fame, I'm not sure. But nonetheless, he gave it his best shot. They covered the spread, seemed like pretty easily there against the Seahawks. All right, let's get into the action here on the Tony's Picks Night Moves show. Take a look at the game tomorrow here between the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers. NFL Monday Night Football here for Monday, December 15th, with the Steelers at home favored 42.5 is the total. Steelers by 3 in this one. The Steelers come in here. Look, you can say what you want about Aaron Rodgers right now and where these teams stand here. The Dolphins still breathing here a little bit, but nonetheless, it does feel like 2 teams that aren't really going anywhere in the end right now. Anyway, still Steelers hanging on in first place, 7-6 record right now. The Ravens are on their heels, and obviously with the results there yesterday, the Ravens basically just a half a game back as far as the actual standings are concerned, Steelers 7-6. The Ravens are 7-7. For the Dolphins here, they are the slimmest of margins here. Actually, they would have to win out and need a bunch of help, but they're still mathematically alive here and going on the road. So with the Steelers here favored by 3, that almost looks like a pretty big number considering where these two teams stand. Like I said, the total here, 42.5. In this one, you look at where these teams are headed kind of right now in the standings. I mean, funny that the teams are just separated by one game, but because of the Steelers' division placement, they have a much stronger chance here against a team like Miami that actually is playing their best football of the season. Miami comes in having won 4 straight and covered 3 of those games, including their last game over the Jets, 34-10 on the road, easily covering. They did beat New Orleans at home before that, did not cover, but still got it done. They also won and covered against Washington at home, won and covered against Buffalo at home, and Miami comes in on a little bit of a roll. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, did win their last game over Baltimore, 27-22 as a 5.5-point dog. But before that, losses to Buffalo and Chicago. They did beat Cincinnati, but they lost to the Chargers, losing 3 of their last 5. So the momentum not really in the Steelers' favor here. But man, with such mediocre teams, the Dolphins do sometimes lay an egg. Like I said, they're playing their best football of the season. They've stuck with their coach here, and he's kind of rewarding them a little bit. Miami, though, just 5-10 against the spread. Their last 15 as a road underdog, 4-8 ATS in their last 12 games, coming in off of a win. The Steelers, meanwhile, 5-2 against the spread. Their last 7 games as a home favorite, and they're 12-9 their last 21 and as a favorite. Steelers have gone under in 4 of their last 6 games. The Dolphins have won 3 of the last 4 meetings in this series, but the teams have not only met one time since the pandemic, and that was in 2022. The Dolphins had a 16-10 home victory. Last 3 have been under the total between these two teams. So I think in this one, I think the Steelers, it's been a long, gut-wrenching season to a certain extent. Miami is playing some of their best ball, and maybe it will come down to the slimmest of margins here, and the Steelers maybe can get it done. But finding a cover might be a whole different process, I think, here for the Steelers in this one. So I'm going to grab 3 points here with the Miami Dolphins here on the road and say they'll have a chance to kind of stay in this one. They have a little bit better momentum coming in. Tua obviously is a younger quarterback than Aaron Rodgers in there, but still, I'm going to go ahead and try the 3 points here with the Miami Dolphins in this one against Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. Miami's covered 4 of their last 6 coming in. They've also covered 4 of the last 6 against the Steelers. Pittsburgh has won 5 of the last 6 games at home against Miami. 4 of the last 5 have gone under, actually, in all. Pittsburgh's gone under in 4 of their last 5 at home, and 4 of their last 6 overall. Miami's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. See what you guys have some comments here in the chat. Maybe I'll look at some of the players here that I like for the props here on Monday Night Football. And who do we have in the chat making comments here? Sports fan in the chat. Good to see you there. Greg as well in the chat. Here's Abel. He likes the Steelers in this one to cover that spread. Yeah, Miami going in maybe to a little bit of cold weather. That could be a problem. As always, people say that Miami does not travel too well into the cold weather. Miami money line here for Timmy Two Shoes. Zach Rossi likes the over here. And Abel says the first quarter under and also the first half. Timmy says, one time you got good Rodgers and you got bad Rodgers. He says this time it's time for bad Rodgers this week. I would think that Tua could outperform Rodgers here. Rodgers definitely is inconsistent at best and not really a. It's a great story. He's been in there, been able to survive this season and not get hurt. But Greg says after Sunday's games, I don't know what to pick in this one. Look, I like the matchup here for Tua, although I will say that Pittsburgh pretty good pass defense against guys here like Waddle and Malik Washington. Maybe Westbrook Akine can get in there. I think the best bet for the Dolphins here, my favorite player is probably going to be Darren Waller in this game. He's been back for 2 games. He's definitely underachieved in those games, but I think Waller here is probably the guy to look for the Dolphins to have a pretty big game here tonight. For the Steelers, I like Fryermuth as well. I think I'm kind of rolling with the tight ends here on Monday night. Fryermuth, a good matchup. Dolphins are probably bottom 5 against tight ends. As far as their receiving core is concerned, look, you got DK. Miami's somewhat solid against number ones, but I'd probably look to Calvin Austin maybe for the price here. I think Austin might be the guy to surprise here and maybe beat his numbers on Monday night. Austin has not really had any good games here of late, but the price just continues to go down. It's going to be hard to pass on Calvin Austin here this week. All right, and Timmy says, how about a little Achan in this one? Yeah, I think it's a solid matchup for Achan. His numbers did come in pretty high. I'm not down on him, certainly, and if he has just an above average game, he'll be able to get his numbers there. Got to wear those good cleats in Pittsburgh, man, with that thick grass. Abel says, how about Tua to throw an interception? How about both guys? The old interception parlay, our specialty here on Night Moves. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins here. What could be a close, maybe low-scoring game. I mean, these offenses aren't knocking anything off the charts here right now. And the total's up there at 42.5. And you know how these prime time unders have been going here. Yeah, we've seen some. Obviously, Sunday night's game went pretty high for sure. But nonetheless, I mean, we've seen kind of a rash of under results here recently so far for sure in Thursday night, Monday night football here of late. In fact, Monday night right now, I believe at this point is I want to say 7-10 to the under, or is it 7-10-1, 7-10, 7-10, 7-10-1, something right around there. And it's averaging right about 42 points a game in Monday Night Football. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins in this one. All right, we got 5 games in the NBA on Monday night. Let's start it off here with a good one here between the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. Celtics have really started to finally get it going, and they're not even necessarily all the way healthy, but about as good a run as we've seen from the Celtics so far this season. Really coming on strong here of late. They've run their record up to 15-10 now. They are coming in off of a loss, but that did snap a pretty good winning streak. They got beat pretty handily on the road by Milwaukee, 116-101. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they're back to their winning ways. They've won 3 straight, although they failed to cover against Portland and Milwaukee. Still, Detroit 4-1 against the spread as an underdog. Boston's 7-5 against the spread at home. They've covered 8 of their last 9 games overall. Detroit's actually failed to cover in 4 of their last 5 games coming in. Maybe not their best role in some of those games, laying some big points to Milwaukee and Portland, but maybe coming in here as a dog might be a little bit better for them. Detroit's gone over in 10 of their last 15 games coming in. Boston's gone over in 4 of its last 5 games coming in right now. The total hanging out at 230 in this one. Boston's 7-5 to the over at home. Detroit's 14-11 to the over so far this season. So look, this is a pretty good game. In fact, we've seen some movement here right now. I'm showing Boston creeping up here to 2.5 within the last couple of minutes. Total maybe has dropped here to 229 or so here in this one. So maybe the moves on Boston for a reason here as they kind of tick up. And looking at the injury report as well in this game between Detroit and Boston, just a few names of note here, but I don't think anything earth-shattering that we didn't already know. In fact, I'm showing pretty much a clean bill of health for both clubs coming in as far as short-term injuries are concerned. So I think in this one, Boston's momentum's pretty good right now. Detroit's had an outstanding season. I think they'll continue to be, a much improved team. I mean, obviously with a 20-5 record right now, that's been an incredible start. But Boston's got a lot of momentum, and I'm going to take them here against Detroit on Monday night. Next up with Raptors, they're going to take on the Heat here Monday night. Toronto coming in 15-11. Miami comes in 14-11, but both teams have matching 4-game losing streaks coming in right now. Toronto with losses to the Lakers, Charlotte, Boston, and New York, and they didn't cover any of those. In fact, they're having trouble covering anything here of late. Even their wins before this streak, they were failing. They've failed to cover in 8 straight games coming in right now, although they have covered 10 of the last 15 matchups against their semi-frequent opponent, the Miami Heat. The Heat, meanwhile, come in with losses to Dallas, Orlando, Sacramento, and the Magic once again in that NBA Cup semifinal game. Both these teams, played in the NBA Cup semifinals there, so that's part of the matchup here with these teams coming in here on Monday night, getting these NBA Cup teams going. Miami's failed to cover in 6 of their last 8 overall. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games coming in. Miami is 8-5 against the spread at home this season, but both teams are playing to the under quite a bit here of late. Toronto has gone under in 7 of its last 10 games, and Miami's gone under in 4 of its last 5. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone over, however, but the two teams have not yet met this season. I'm going to have to take the under in this one with Toronto and Miami here at 237.5. I'm going to go with the under here in this one. Your comments are welcome as well. Timmy Two Shoes likes the over here with this one. The Dallas Mavericks are going to take on the Utah Jazz. NBA action here for Monday night. Dallas comes in with a record of 10-16, but they've won 2 in a row here with victories over Houston and Brooklyn. They've been in a pretty good cover run as well. For Utah, they come in off of a win over Memphis on the road. 130-126 is a 7.5-point dog. Utah's 9-4 against the spread at home this season. Dallas is 2-5 against the spread as a favorite so far this season. Dallas has gone under as a favorite in 6 of 7 games in the roll, but Utah's been a solid over here this season. 15-9 to the over overall, 9-4 to the over at home, and 12-8 to the over as a dog. Dallas has actually gone over in 4 of its last 5 games. Dallas has covered 13 out of the last 20 meetings between these division rivals. Utah 7-13 ATS in their last 20 games overall. Utah's gone over in 13 of their last 17 at home. 6 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under the total, and I think this one's headed at 237 here. I got to go under in this one between Dallas and Utah here on Monday night. Hello to Brad Wild in the chat. He likes Utah in this one. Timmy Choo says he played the Jazz and the points because they're at home. Grabbing a couple of points with Utah. All right, next up, the Houston Rockets going to take on the Denver Nuggets. Top game here in the Western Conference here for sure coming in. Both teams 16, or Houston 16-6, Denver 18-6 right now. Two of the best teams in the Western Conference in the division here right now. Houston coming in off of a win over the Clippers last time out, 115-113. Although they didn't get the money, they've won 3 of their last 4. Denver, meanwhile, a 4-game winning streak coming in. Cover over Sacramento, a 31-point win there. They beat Charlotte 115-106 for a win on the road. Charlotte got the money, I think, in that one. Atlanta, they beat Atlanta but did not cover on the road, 134-133, and they beat up on Indiana. Houston comes in here 9-3 against the spread on the road, 2-0 against the spread as an underdog this season, but Denver 13-9 against the spread as a favorite. Houston's gone over in 8 of its last 12 games coming in, and Houston's gone over in 8 of 12 games on the road this season, and Denver's gone over in 7 of 10 games at home this season. Denver's also 15-7 to the over as a favorite. 4 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Denver's gone over in 8 of its last 9 games overall, including 5 of its last 6 games at home. I'm going to go with the over in this one between the Rockets and Nuggets here on Monday night. The two teams did meet back in November, and it was an under as Denver won at 112-109. Denver was a 3-point dog in that game, but I'm going to take the over here with Houston and Denver on Monday night. I think Abel likes, Timmy Two Shoes likes the Nuggets here. Abel likes the over. And Timmy says that total is kind of creeping up here in that game, up to 235.5, maybe. All right, the Memphis Grizzlies are going to take on the Los Angeles Clippers. NBA action for Monday night. Memphis comes in having won 2 of its last 3, but does come in off of a loss to Utah, 130-126. They were a 7.5-point favorite in that one and lost the game outright. They had defeated the Clippers and Portland in the last 2 games prior, so these two teams did meet on November the 5th. Memphis won it 107-98, and Memphis won a November meeting as well at the Clippers here. They were getting 6.5 in that one, but won outright 112-107, mostly because the Clippers have been a disaster here this season, and right now they've lost 3 in a row once again to Memphis, Minnesota, and Houston. But should be noted that they did cover the spread in those last 2 games against Memphis and Houston. They're coming back home after a long road trip. These are 2 of the worst spread teams in their particular roles here. The Clippers are 2-10 against the spread as a favorite, 1-9 against the spread at home. Memphis is just 3-11 against the spread as an underdog here. So I'm going to take the Clippers in this one to win and cover against Memphis. This total looks susceptible too. I don't know if it's going to go over this total here. Memphis is 4-8 to the under on the road so far. Also, Clippers have gone under in 5 of its last 7, and also 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams have gone under. But I'm going to take the Clippers here and lay 3 points against the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday night. And Timmy's got the injury update discussing Harden here and his availability in this game. He's got that calf injury, so he's questionable here. Batum is questionable as well for the Grizzlies. Brandon Clark is doubtful. And they've got some other guys who are out too. Konkar is out, and Edie, he's going to be out for a while with an ankle sprain. So Timmy likes the Clippers in this one. All right, I'm going to look at a couple games in college basketball on Monday night. It's a very light schedule again on for this week. Man, we're really going to get down to some thin days next week on Christmas week. Remember, they used to at least have those holiday tournaments, but no longer. There'll be 3 straight days without college basketball when the holiday rolls around. Got Wyoming here on the road, on the road. I'd say it might be kind of a neutral. This one's going to be played at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Wyoming comes in here 8-2 with a 2-game winning streak. Wins for Wyoming over Dartmouth and South Dakota. They didn't cover 15.5 against Dartmouth, but they did cover 14.5 against South Dakota. Wyoming's 4-3 against the spread as a favorite, 5-4 against the spread overall. Meanwhile, South Dakota State 5-4 against the spread overall. South Dakota State is 3-6 to the under this season, 1-3 to the under as an underdog. Wyoming is 0-2 to the under on the road, if you want to consider this a road game, certainly, but they are 5-2 to the over as a favorite coming into this one. These two teams met a couple of years ago, and Wyoming did win 78-65. Wyoming's won all 3 meetings between these two teams. So South Dakota State is 0-4 straight up as an underdog, and Wyoming is 7-0 straight up as a favorite. Coming in here to this one. So look, this is still a bit of a home game here for South Dakota here with this one being played in Sioux Falls. So Wyoming, maybe their record is a little bit better than South Dakota's right now with that 8-2 mark, and South Dakota just 7-5 here. But I think for me, I'm going to take the under in this one with these two. Like I said, it feels to me like Wyoming is a kind of a home over team at home, but give me the under in this one between Wyoming and South Dakota State on Monday. All right, let's take a look at the McNeese Cowboys here, coming in here with a 9-2 record right now, and oh man, they're at it again. McNeese having another strong season, a great program right now. Houston Christian comes in with a 5-5 record. McNeese is 7-2 against the spread so far, 6-1 against the spread as a favorite. Really took down the other day East Texas A&M by 36 points as a 20-point favorite. They also covered 19.5 against Northwestern State. They did fail double digits against Incarnate Word on the road with a loss, but I think they are, going to be the considerably better team than Houston Christian. Houston Christian lost at home 74-71 to Southeast Louisiana last time out as a 2.5-point favorite. They did beat New Orleans on the road, 85-76, a 9-point win as a 4.5-point dog. They also covered against North Texas on the road, losing by 2 as an 11.5-point dog. But man, McNeese is just taking on and rolling over all comers. It feels like here, still a pretty big number at 12 coming into this one. But man, they are pretty solid. McNeese is 0-4 to the under on the road this season. They'll probably really hold down Houston Christian here, but I'm going to go ahead and roll with McNeese to win and cover in this one and get the double digits over Houston Christian here on Monday night. All right, McNeese also for Timmy there. It's a big spread, but he'll try it. All right, those are the 2 games I looked at here. It's only a 7-game card on the college basketball card on Monday night. So, hey, let's get moving here to the hockey action on Monday, where I've got a 5-game card here on Night Moves. Let's get into it. Got the Got the Florida battle here to start us off with the Panthers taking on the Lightning. Bobrovsky expected possibly here in goal, going up against the Lightning, and my man Jonas Johansson here in this one. For Florida here, 16, 13, and 2. They're starting to play Florida Panther hockey, it feels like right now. It's really starting to rack up some wins here. Really, the only team they've lost to here over the last week or two has been Colorado. We know how good they've been. Uh, Florida just shut out Dallas. We were on them, remember, in that game against Dallas. We had Florida in that one on the road, and they did a real nice job in a 4-0 shutout. They're getting it done however they need to. Sometimes it's with scoring, sometimes it's with defense and goaltending. So do have Bobrovsky here, 2.84 goals against. Johansson, 2.59 goals against here so far. This season. Florida also recent wins over Utah, over the Islanders, and Columbus. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay comes in off of a road loss at the Islanders, 3-2, but they beat New Jersey on the road, 8-4. They beat Montreal on the road, 6-1. They're coming back home after a bit of a road trip for sure. Tampa Bay comes in 18-11-3. Florida 16-13-2. Florida's been a good underdog this season. They've only been underdogs 5 times, but they're 3-2. Meanwhile, Tampa as a favorite 13-12. But man, we've been rolling here with Florida a little bit. Florida's 1-4 to the under as a dog, and I think that's where we're going to be headed here with this one at the total of 6. So give me the under here with Florida and Tampa Bay on Monday night. All right, let's see here. Timmy Two Shoes. He's my partner in the chat, it looks like, here tonight. He's got the under with this one. Also takes for Hagi for an anytime goal. All right, the Anaheim Ducks here going up against New York Rangers. Well, man, you got the Ducks here. Now, they have lost 2 in a row. They were pretty hot, that's for sure. They still are pretty hot right now, hanging out near the top of the Pacific Division standings at 19, 12, and 1. The Rangers are 16, 13-4. We know the Rangers' bugaboo has been losing games at home and winning games on the road. They're next to last in the standings. They're only 4-8-3 at home this season. Meanwhile, Anaheim has fallen into second place behind the Vegas Golden Knights now, but they're still 8-1 on the road. They've done a pretty nice job here. These two teams are meeting for the first time this season. Anaheim has lost here on their last 2 games on this road trip to New Jersey and the Islanders by a combined score of 9-4. Still, they're 13-9 as an underdog this season. So, meanwhile, the Rangers are just, as I said, a losing record at home coming into this one. So I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to take the Anaheim Ducks here to get the win on the road. Give me the Ducks at plus 105 over the Rangers here on Monday night. Zach Rossi's with me. He's going to be on the Ducks. The Ottawa Senators are going to be on the road taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Canadian battle here with Ottawa, 14-13-4. Winnipeg comes in 15-15-1. Both teams have had their certain struggles here of late. Yes, Ottawa is coming in off of a loss. They beat Columbus before that, but we're in a bit of a losing streak. I'd say they've played pretty well so far, though, in these first 2 games of this road trip, despite losing 3-2 in that last game to the Minnesota Wild. That one was in regulation. Meanwhile, for Winnipeg, they come in off of a home win over Washington 5-1. This is a 4th straight home game here. Before that, they lost to Boston and to Dallas. So still, Winnipeg 14-8 as a favorite. Ottawa respectable 4-5 as an underdog. These two teams have been pretty solid overs this year. They're combined 37 and 25 to the over. Ottawa's gone 11 and 6 to the over on the road, and Winnipeg's gone 9 and 6 to the over at home. Ottawa also 6 and 3 to the over as an underdog. Ottawa's also gone over in 7 of its last 9 games. Winnipeg's gone over in 4 of its last 5, and also Winnipeg's gone over in 7 of its last 9 at home, not just 9 of 15 overall this season, but even more pronounced run of overs of late. If it's 5.5, I got to go with the over here in this one between the Senators and the Jets here on Monday night. There's a juiced here to the over. I should note that it is severely juiced to the over at 5.5, over 20 at least, maybe even 25. Let me put it at 25 here right now, but mostly overs here. I'm showing some offshore books as low as 5.5, over 17. So give me the over here in this one between Ottawa and Winnipeg here on Monday night. All right, and let's see here. The Jets have to beat the Senators in the prior 2, so he's going to take a shot here with the Sens. Abel likes the over here in this one. Timmy says these guys have already played a couple of this is the first meeting of the season, I think, between the two teams. But, yeah, the series itself, I think, lends to an under for the last 6 meetings have gone under between these two. Greg here, though, likes it over for sure in this one. The Nashville Predators take on the St. Louis Blues. NHL action for Monday night. St. Louis comes in $1.20, $1.25 here with Jordan Binnington in the pipes. Looks like a bit of a discount here, possibly. I mean, the Blues are just 12, 14, and 7. Nashville comes in 12, 15, and 4. Nashville's actually won 3 of its last 4, despite losing last time out to Colorado on the road, 4-2. They're 6 and 16 as an underdog overall, but here we are again, the St. Louis Blues, that terrible favorite. They're 2 and 12 as a favorite this season, but maybe this price is manageable. They're also 10 and 4 to the over as a favorite are the St. Louis Blues, and that's probably the direction I'm going to look. 12 of the last 16 meetings between these two teams have gone over, including a 7-2 win by Nashville in their previous meeting just a couple of nights ago in Nashville. Nashville won it 7-2 at home in that one. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams in St. Louis have gone over here. So I got to go over in this one with Nashville and St. Louis on Monday night. Abel likes first period over to get off to a fast start in this one. And I will note that in that 7-2 game, Nashville led 2-0 at the end of the first period. Finally, we've got the Kings and the Stars, a pretty good one here on Monday night. Both teams have lost 2 in a row, however, the Kings with losses to Seattle and Calgary coming in. Dallas, meanwhile, with losses to Minnesota and Florida. But Dallas 10 and 5 at home this season, 16 and 10 as a favorite. The Kings, though, one of the best road teams in the league still. 10, 2, and 5 on the road this season. Dallas, meanwhile, at home is 10, 5, and 1. So a really good matchup here for sure. Dallas, $1.35 favorite. These two teams have met once this season. Kings won that one 3-2 on the road at Dallas here. And you look at this series too. I mean, this one just feels like an under actually with these two teams, and maybe even with this matchup of Kemper and Ottinger. 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone under. The Kings have gone under in 5 of their last 7, and the Stars have gone under in 5 of their last 7 as well. The Kings are 3 and 6 to the under as a dog, and Dallas is 11 and 15 to the under as a favorite. Give me the under here with the Kings and Dallas on Monday night. Greg likes Dallas here. Timmy likes Mikko Rantanen, anytime goal, and the Stars. And he also said take him in regulation. I want to thank Timmy. I want to thank Greg. I want to thank Abel in the chat. Also, Zach Rossi helping me out here with the show tonight. And also good to see Mr. 4600 in there as well. Sports fan was great to have in the chat. So thanks everybody for joining me here on Night Moves for Monday. We're back tomorrow with more Night Moves. We'll take a look at the Tuesday card. And, we're going to just get ready because little do you know, it's bowl season. And we're going to get into it here on Tuesday night with Troy and Jacksonville as we get rolling with the bowls. The bowl season here right now. So we have some football for the next couple of weeks here until we get to the FCS, FBS playoffs. And, of course, the NFL as well. Hey, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. There we have our best picks, our premium picks every day over at Tony's Picks. You can use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all of our premium pick packages. Take a look at the handicapper leaderboards here for Sunday. Got Solo going 4-0 there yesterday. Jorge here, 2-1 as well. Al Ninos 7-3, and Justin McKelvey, Al Ninos 3-1, and Justin McKelvey 7-3 there. Great performance by the guy. To see DeAndre clicking over there last 7 days, 14-9 for plus 4.5 units. You got Higgs up there, up 11 units for the season. DeAndre up nearly 15 units for the year as well. So check out all of our cappers over at Tony'sPicks.com. You see Alessandro there with his NFL Monday Night Football best bet. The guys are locked and loaded here for the action on Monday night, and I'll be back here tomorrow for more action with you on Night Moves. Appreciate everyone coming along for the ride, and have a great night here from Tony'sPicks.com. For Night Moves, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.